We've made it to Sydney. Selena got out of bed about 4 a.m.
I woke up
Is it
very
powerful?
early.
Painful.
It wasn't too bad. I didn't overthink it, and to be honest, I was quite excited to get to Sydney. I was going on site, so I don't mind getting up early if there's a good reason to get up early.
Yeah, and this is a good reason. I think I ended up leaving.
I was on a 6:10 flight, and you was on a 9:40.
Yeah, and what I found in Australia, not that we've done a lot, is their flights mostly leave on time, even though people complain. Somehow America gets a pass for everything. America's the worst transport ever, except their road network. Any other form of transport is pretty badly run, whether it's trains or planes
Yeah,
or...
coming here, all my flights have either left on time or early.
Great service as well.
We've
for
had a
all of
good
them.
experience with the airport in general as well.
Yeah.
I even flew Jetstar, which I was told not to do, and it was fine. Of course, I had to pay for everything, but other than that, it was actually fine.
So I arrived here about 12 o'clock and it was super warm. So I had come with a jacket, a jumper and trousers or pants on, and immediately need to take everything off because it's quite humid here as well.
I arrived at 8 a.m. this morning, and 10 minutes into my Uber journey on the way to the hospital, I messaged Anne and said, I know this might be premature, but I think I prefer Sydney over Melbourne. And he's like, oh, why? And I said, I can't explain it, but there was something. So we both like Melbourne, and it's Melbourne, we've been told. It's not Melbourne, although Melbourne is the correct pronunciation.
Apparently, by English standards, and it was named after an English person, apparently.
Anyway, but there was just something about Melbourne that I said to Anne, even though I did like it, and there was, I think you and I are quite positive when it comes to places. We can see the good in
Except England.
Except England.
Yeah.
But there was something that I couldn't quite put my finger on, which I said to Anne, it doesn't feel alive. It's missing vibrancy. There's something about it. And then as soon as I landed in Sydney, the car started driving around and started seeing, I said, this is what I like. This is more like what I like about London, except the weather. There's the humidity here, which I actually quite like. Like me now living in Vegas.
Yeah, for me, immediately, same thing. Got in the car, started traveling, and was like, oh, I really like it here.
It's alive.
I'm sure lots of people that are watching have been to Australia. I think it's so similar, yet so different to the UK, and that's what's nice about it.
Exactly.
So the rolling hills and the parks look really similar, but then you have the weather and then the
roads look very similar. The infrastructure looks very familiar. So even the hospitals to me look the same. How they do a lot of the signage in the airports remind me of what we do in
exactly
the UK.
the same as the UK. People seem happier, but I guess you would be in better weather.
I think the weather makes a difference, and I know they have various seasons here, but it's one thing. I have a few colleagues that live in Sydney that they say they have a guaranteed summer. They know at least when the summer comes, they can organise barbecue for whatever day in the next month, but they know it's going to happen. Whereas in England, we try and do that.
And it's 3 days ahead.
Or you have to be prepared to be doing your barbecue in the rain with an umbrella.
So once we arrived, we couldn't actually check in straight away, so we ended up going to a burger place. So it was really good. The food was fresh, thankfully, because it was about a 25-minute wait. And we've come from a place where everything's instant. Yeah. Vegas is instant. Melbourne was instant. And then I was like, 25 minutes to wait for a meal. This is unusual, but it was tasty food. Slightly more expensive than Melbourne, slightly. So it's like $24 for a burger and fries.
We are staying in Bondi.
Oh, yeah.
So we had a couple of choices. So Bondi Beach is right behind us. We had a couple of choices. We are only here for one night, and we could have stayed in the CBD area around the Rocks, where you get the Sydney Harbour, the Opera House, the Harbour Bridge. But I decided to stay in Bondi, mainly because of the weather, and it was cheaper in terms of...
And the air hostesses did say, don't stay in the city, stay outside. That's what they said. They said you'll have a better time staying here than in the city, just because it's apparently not that easy to get around. But I mean, we've been here a few hours now, and I love it. I could, like you said, nearly immediately, I could move here and be happy straight away. There's not very many places I feel like that.
There is one thing though. Immediately, as I was in the Uber and looking around, and I'm seeing all the trees and the park. Instantly, I thought, this is where the spiders are. Because in Melbourne, I didn't have that feeling of we're going to see a huntsman spider or a big spider.
Yeah, 1 hour. So we ate up we went to a coffee shop. Coffee also amazing here and very cheap. I think it's $8 for two extra strong cappuccinos, which is £4 for 2 cappuccinos. Immediately, a huge spider, which I caught, so I'll put it in the video. Huge spider come just strolling out through the cafe, and I'm not sure the woman dealer really wanted to do it. She called some other guy to come and get it. And then they got rid of that one. They just sort of brushed it out with a broom. And then Selena spotted another one equally as big directly after.
There's another one just as we're leaving. So that's the downside for me. I don't know. But me and Ant and I are both scared of spiders.
Yeah.
We're basically going to be living in our home once a spider moves.
Other than that, though, it has been really nice. We literally just got to Bondi, so 6 minutes ago, because that's how long we've been recording. Really, really nice.
We've spent some time walking along Bondi Beach. There's a really nice stretch where you can walk, and we've seen lots of people either who have come after work or don't work, who knows, and they're here with their family, their friends, either going out for a run, cycling, going out surfing, as you would imagine. Very windy here, but it's not cold, and I think that's because the temperature is, I think it's like 26 degrees at the moment, so it still feels nice with the wind. But what we found at one end of Bondi Beach is this area that people can work out, and there's lots of people practicing, doing pole pull-ups. There's weights here as well, kettlebells, and I mentioned it, it's a bit like Muscle Beach, I think, in LA. So it's definitely got that LA feel without the homeless people, which is a huge
Or the
plus.
filth.
Yeah, and it's not dirty here at
LA
all.
is disgusting. Most of California is disgusting, to be honest, but LA area and surrounding counties are absolutely disgusting. And at Jiu-Jitsu last week, one of the guys that travels out to the States, he pointed out, he's like, what is going on in California? He said, at least our tax money's going somewhere. He said, it's not even how disgusting it is. He said, what's wrong with the infrastructure? I said, I'm not answering for the Americans. I don't know. But yeah, this feels clean, nice, safe. People seem to be out enjoying themselves. You can sit around, chill. The surrounding shops and food are relatively cheap.
Yeah, and
Does it still
I
feel like
can't
everyone's
remember
getting
if we
ripped
mentioned this before, but when we went out in Port Melbourne the first Sunday when it was really hot and we went out to the beach, this is what we was expecting. We thought it was going to be busy, lots of people, but it was really quiet, and I think that's the distinct difference. If you want a place, a city with good restaurants, amenities, infrastructure, but you don't want the busyness of people, I think Melbourne is the place, whereas Sydney is far more thriving as a place overall.
We've made it to the city of Sydney. I keep wanting to say Melbourne now because we've been there so
Because we've
long.
lived there for a week now.
It's a very impressive and interesting place. So I think this is called a quay. So there's a bridge here, there's a waterway, there's water taxis. As you can probably see, a massive Celebrity X cruise and also a Virgin cruise over the way. And then this feels, is it Surrey Quays or is it more like, you know where Canary Wharf is? Does it feel a little bit like
this is
that?
more like Embankment to me in
Embankment,
London.
okay.
Embankment.
There'll be
in
different
terms
parts of
of
London.
Yeah, merged into
Yeah.
one, but it's really nice. So we're actually in Circular Quay at the moment, and we're by the area that's called The Rocks, which is essentially, if you can get a hotel here, lots of people, this is the area that they will say to get the hotel. Lots of great restaurants here and bars, and really, really nice. The scenery, the harbour bridge. I did see the Opera House, but now I've
Yeah,
lost
that
it.
was as we were coming in the taxi.
You can't really take a direct route. You have to sort of
Yeah.
loop round, which is very much like the Canary Wharf
Yeah.
area.
But I saw it coming in, but have no idea where it is in relation to us now.
And you're seeing us look around because we've literally just got here and a bit mesmerised by the scenery.
This is nothing to do with this video, but I could never go back to the UK. It's
So many
what a
better
dump that place
places.
is. Why would you not? It'd be fairly easy for us to get in here as well.
Yeah, and actually that's a good point. So something I said in the Melbourne video, in that whether I could move to Melbourne, I probably wouldn't choose Melbourne over UK only because I don't think it offers enough for me to choose to do it. But I probably would have just to try, but not somewhere that I would permanently choose.
Yeah.
It's not
that's
enough.
fair.
But Sydney, and I've literally been here less than, I don't know, maybe I've been here 12 hours now since this morning.
You've been here
But-
11 hours.
11 hours, but I would leave the UK for Sydney, absolutely.
Yeah. It offers so much more instantly. Just the fact that you can sit out by the beach.
It's a very different lifestyle, and even though they will get cold weather, they will have rain, they have a
kinda worth it.
guaranteed summer, and that's where it's completely different to what we get in the UK.
We just guaranteed pain.
Guaranteed pay.
That's what you're
So
paying
we
for.
won't go back.
Yeah.
There's many other places you could go, and I can definitely see the appeal to Sydney. Just finished dinner. It was really nice. We sat outside, and that's a rare thing that we ever get to do these days, because in Vegas, when it's either too cold or it's too hot, so we don't really eat outside much. But it was really nice because we had really nice views of the Harbour Bridge and of the Opera House. So what was funny was when I got here, I was so certain that I picked this restaurant because you had views of the Opera House. But when we arrived here, I couldn't see it. And of course, what it was that big cruise ship that Ant was excited to see was blocking our view. So I was very, very disappointed about that. And then I sat there almost sulking, thinking, well, that's just not fair that this cruise ship has come here and blocked the view. But then fortunately at 7 p.m. the cruise ship left, and then we had this wonderful view of the Opera House. And it was just very nice because the sunset, and now at night it looks very pretty here. It is a Thursday night, and I wouldn't say, in comparison to what I would expect for a Thursday night in London, this is not as busy as London is, but it is a very nice place and definitely worthwhile coming to.
I've had a lot of fun today. Not that we've done much, but it's a place that makes me feel like I should have stayed here longer.
Yeah.
And I want to come back. And maybe once you spend 5 days here, you're like, no, I'm okay. But knowing that it's only today and then half of tomorrow. So we've got to leave for the airport. What time?
Not long after 2 we'll be
Yeah,
leaving,
2
so we
p.m.
haven't
So I
got
don't
that long.
feel like we're going to get that much out of tomorrow. But that's a good thing. That then means we'll come back and enjoy it at another point. And if we get bored after 5 days, we can go somewhere else in Australia.
We're cutting from yesterday's video to today's video, which is our last day here in Sydney. We were going to go towards, I want to say Surrey Quays. What was it called? Not Surrey Quay, Circular Quay, where the Opera House was. We were then thinking about doing some events, but we need to leave by about 2:30 and didn't want to get caught out anywhere. So we decided to take a $15 taxi or Uber ride to, what was the place called again?
Rose Bay.
Rose Bay, and we jumped on the passenger ferry, and I don't know if I've seen a better looking place. And it's a couple of dollars to get on this ferry. It takes you over to Watson's Bay. Yeah, a number of places, but we just went into Watson's Bay. The ferry is super comfortable, really fast, and you get to see some islands, some unbelievable homes, super clear aqua water or turquoise water. We stopped off. We then went into a really nice restaurant bar that overlooked the bay, had some oysters, had some fries, drank a really good beer. I think all in the food, oysters and beer was maybe 80 Australian dollars whilst overlooking the bay. And now we're just jumping back on. It's probably take us 10 minutes to get back. Whilst we sit, relax, cruise, overlook the bay, overlook some amazing homes. Shocked by what Sydney is. I think in my head it was very much the Opera House. That's kind of what they advertise. You don't really see, or at least I don't remember this kind of stuff being on TV, but it's really unbelievable. It's a combination of a Riviera, a city, a beach, everything that you could kind of want. Anyway, back to the original video.
There's only about 6 populated places in Australia, so there's not
Exactly.
that many to go.
We'll make our way round slowly.
Yeah, we'll visit all the places, but easily a place that we could come and live. And knowing that we kind of not had the opportunity to come and live here, but could have made it an opportunity to come and live here, and we never considered it. It's a bit
Nope,
weird.
Never
And maybe the
considered it.
bugs got in the way. That's probably what it was.
I think at the bugs I would never consider here because of the bugs, and I still don't know if I could do it. But Sydney in one day has definitely won me over. Well, that's our day one in Sydney. We've only got half a day tomorrow.
I think that's our only day recording in
That's
Sydney.
the only day. I don't know if we'll record tomorrow, but that's almost pretty much our trip done.
It is our trip done.
But I hope you guys have enjoyed following us and watching our trip in Australia, in Melbourne, in Hobart and in Sydney. Thanks for watching.